Rabbi Kaplan?
But this Yitzchak, he understood right away he understood that there's such a thing as abstract ideas that we don't have to ask, is it practical, is it not right? He understood that. He understood it good. He understood it so good that he was able to laugh at somebody that doesn't understand it. Somebody that sits by a daf yomi and starts asking, well, how could it be? How could it be? He knew to laugh at such a thing. He was so understanding of this. And I went to him on Sunday. I had a Seder every Sunday and Monday. I would go to him and I would say some ideas as far as kashas. And that was all visit. And part of the time I would look in the newspaper. I was in his house, the Chiloni newspaper. What's it, Yiddiot, I think it is. And I would look at the headlines, and then I would make a few comments, and whenever I picked up the newspaper and looked, so he would say to me, "En Marirot Shama Todavar, it's the same thing, there's nothing to see there, what are you looking at? It's nothing. And it was sad to me that he died, although I can't say that I was broken from it. I mean, I wasn't that close with him, but we had a certain understanding between ourselves. And the reason we had such an understanding can be explained. Our producer can explain it very good. The Gemara says, Bar Mazleano. We were from the same mazel. We were both born in the mazel Basula Virgo. I don't want to go into that too much, but it was very clear. You could see clearly that astrology works. Astrology is true because there was such an understanding that and because it was the same mazel, that's the only way you can explain it.
Rabbi Kaplan?
What?
Just to machadek your sfor a little bit, it's not just Mazel Batula. Your Mercury and his Mercury are in the exact same position.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But
very interesting. So it was amazing how we understood one another. So that has to do with Mercury, because Mercury is the sign of understanding, of Seichel Avonu. So, also, okay, that I'll maybe say later. So, what I want is, I went to the Levaya, and usually I try to get out of going to Levayas, even if it's somebody important you have to. I find excuses. It's just too hard for me to go to Levayas, and then to go to Levaya and go till the caver. I hardly ever would do that. But this time I went to Levaya and I went till the caver, and it was at night. It was her Manuchas. And I did it. It was because of this strong feeling I had towards this person. I prepared a hesped to say on him, because I think a bentor always has to be ready to have something to say just in case they'll call you. Then they didn't call me, they didn't ask me. I was a little bit upset that they didn't ask me. They should have, okay, but maybe they didn't know. But I was going to mention the Gemara in my cotton to Zvovom at Beis. The Gemara says that there's a din of Kfiyas Hamita. There was, one of the Hilchos Avelus is that you have to turn over all the beds in the house. Nowadays we don't do it, and there's a reason for it in Shulchan Aruch. But Mika Adin, there's a halach of Kfiyas Hamita to turn over the bed. So the Gemara says, why do we do that? Because the musdiukni no sati bohen. A person was created with the musdiukni Kibiyoho, he looks like Hashem. I put the Tselem Elokim in a person. Ubavonusem, because of the Averis, the Chet Eitzadas, Hofachtiu, I turned it upside down. Hashem brought death on the world. Hashem was Gozer Misa on the world because of the Chet Eitzadas. Since that happened, Kofu Mitosem, turn over your beds. Turn over to show that there's such a thing as death in the world. That means, it seems from the way the Gemara says it, that when somebody is nifter, when something happens to remind us of the tragedy of humankind in general, that bavonoseyem hofachtiho, this demus diukni, this creation of the Odom, which is B'Tselem Elokim. Kibiyahu, we can hardly understand what that means. Hashem put in the world, He created something. Rashi in Parshas Bereishis says, Ani yochid bo elyonim, v'hu yochid betachtonim. I'm a yochid in above, and he's an individual. There's an individual that's called Odom. He's on such a high madrega. He's been the mus dukno. He has kochus. He has powers of elokus in him. He could reach highest madregas. He could be dovek in Hashem. This the mus dukni. Hashem had to put him down. He had to. How does it say? You put your hand on top of me and you pushed me down. He was pushed down from a Igra Roma, from a high roof, to a Bira Mikta. We don't know what it means because we're already deep in this Olam Hazeh, in this dark world, in this dark goof. We're used to it. We don't know of any other thing. But just imagine all the Mauritian before the Chet. Let's sit and imagine. We don't know, but let's imagine. He was neshama, as if neshama dik. His whole mind was, Hashem is here. I'm close to Him. I feel good about being close to Hashem. And then he had needs. He tended to the body's need. He looked at the body. Oh, there's a body down there. Oh, what it needs something. Oh, okay, we'll take care of it. We'll give you what you need. It's like somebody has a little child or a baby. And he's sitting and holding the baby, and he's having a deep conversation with another person. I like to use the word stimulating, which is very not common. A stimulating conversation he's having with a friend, and he's holding a baby. The baby starts crying. So he tends to the needs of the baby. That means he goes down from the pleasure that he's enjoying of the stimulating conversation, and he stops the flow of depth that his mind is flowing, and he tends to the needs of the baby, because it's important to take care of the baby also. Same thing, other Mauritian Kodem Achet, standing there, being Messianic from the Ziva Shechina, which we Bekoshi know what that means. Messianic, Ziva Shechina. The essence of him was Neshama. His goof needed something. The hunger made him feel that there's a need to eat. He said, oh yeah? You body, you need food? Okay, I'll get you some food. Here, take it. He put it into the mouth and he fed the body. That's what all the Mauritian was before the Chet. Vatoshes alai kapecha, David HaMelech says in Tehillim. You put your hand on me and you pushed me down. That's mamish turning upside down, the Gemara calls that. And we have to turn over our beds in the house to show this tragedy. And it's not just the tragedy of this particular person that died. It's the tragedy of mankind. The world has in it tragedy. And there's a sefer, Bechinas Olam. This Bechinas Olam is a Kadmon. I don't know exactly when he was. His name was Rabbi Yedaya Hapnini. And it's poetry that this person wrote. He was probably Spanish, maybe 500 years ago or more. And sometimes I look at it, I could read it and reread it. And the feeling that I get from it, it's not so much what it says there. The very highly intelligent people, they have a criticism that they say it's pashut, it's simple. That's not the point over here. This whoever this person was, this Kadmon was, but he expresses it with so much feeling. He talks about in the first parak, he talks about the greatness of a person. He starts out his sefer. The Shamayim Lorum V'Aretz La'omek V'Rochav Leiv Novun Ein Cheker. The sky is high and the ground is deep, but the heart of an understanding person is, we don't know. You can't know how deep it is. And he goes on and say about the greatness of a person. And then in the second parak he says, this person was like Echad Mitzvah Moram B'Moram. He's like one of the Malachim above. And again he talks about the greatness of a person. Yitzock Shamayim. He can go up till the sky. And Yatzia Shal. And he goes on. And then in the third parak he starts complaining. And he starts being misonen. Hatov Hayosh Gizra Sapir Asher Kozeh. Can it be? Is it good the way it is? That such a fine, precious stone could be lemikra v'fega kamatora lacheit. Could it be that he's a matora for a chait? The thing that you shoot the arrows at. What's the word?
I don't know.
Okay. And then he goes on complaining. He says that this Odom, he's a Yoshev b'Sheves Tach Kamoni. And he's Nishan al Binasu. And this Odom has to suffer, that in the end is Ben Regovim Yiduboku. He gets buried in the ground. He says the person's creation is tragic. He says the Melit over here. This big Baal Seichel has to go through such suffering, has to go through such tragedy. And all this, I feel when I talk about this Yitzchak, he worked in the area and he never got ahead. He could have been the head of the area. He could have run the whole thing. And instead he was a simple pakid. And he was pushed down by others, by Menalim that didn't understand him. Why is it that such a Baal Kishrin shouldn't become a big doctor, the head of a machlaka in Hadassah hospital that has other doctors under him, that's able to say opinions? Do you need this kind of treatment? Don't you need this kind of treatment? Why couldn't he be that? Or why couldn't he be a big lawyer? That I can understand why he couldn't be a big lawyer, because he couldn't stand sheker. And to be a lawyer, you have to deal with sheker. But why couldn't he be something big in the world? A big physicist, a big scientist, why couldn't he be? Why can't the world be such that when they see a genius, that they can develop him and use him and make that the world should benefit from his genius? Or why couldn't he have been a big Rosh Yeshiva and say shiurim that Talmidim should benefit from? But we see from here, on the other hand, on the one hand, Hashem creates a person with tremendous kishronos. On the other hand, there's the personality. A personality is such that he can't push himself. He's afraid of other people, and I understand it good, because I was always like that. I see people that they go around with self-confidence. You feel, they're the real world.
Okay, Rabbi Kaplan, we're taking another break now. Thank you.